بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه تسليما. Your sister Zaynab Ansari with you, and I am happy to offer my reflections for Ramadan of 1447 or 2026. Inshallah, we're going to begin with the fourth juz' of the Quran. The fourth juz' runs from verse 92 of Surah Āl to verse 23 of An-Nisa. And if you have your mushaf in front of you, you can find juz 4 from pages 62 through 81 of the mushaf. Here is our ayah for today. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون. صدق الله العظيم. And hold firmly to the rope of Allah and do not be divided. Remember Allah's favor upon you when you were enemies, and He united your hearts, so you by His grace became brothers, and you were at the brink of a fiery pit, and He saved you from it. This is how Allah makes His revelations clear to you so that you may be rightly guided. The ayah is an important one to start with for the theme that I'm presenting, dear audience, dear sisters, and dear brothers. As we ponder what is happening in the world around us, as we reflect on the Ramadans that we have spent and the one that we are currently experiencing, as we think about the plight of the ummah, of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, as we witness tragedies both globally and domestically, there are a lot of questions that we have on our minds. And this ayah is a really excellent starting point. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds the believers of the value of unity. But very importantly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds the believers that the gift of unity is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a question a lot of us have. Why are things like this for our ummah today? How do we transcend these differences and difficulties? And Allah ta'ala is reminding us there is no worldly mechanism that is going to allow us to unite as believers. This unity is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it's not necessarily a gift restricted to the past. Although this ayah was revealed in connection to the Ansar, the Aus and the Khazraj, who were fighting each other prior to the Prophet's arrival to Medina alayhi salatu wasalam, this ayah is a reminder that just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought together the hearts of the believers in the past, that Allah ta'ala can do this again, because Allah ta'ala is over all things powerful. This is a very potent reminder. We look at Palestine, we look at Sudan, and we ask ourselves, with all of the strength in terms of numbers of this ummah, all the resources, all the amazing diversity, why are things the way that they are today? And I think sometimes the natural reaction is to feel despair, but Allah Ta'ala is telling us not to feel despair. Just as the Aus and the Khazraj were literally on the brink of a fire, plunged into conflict and disagreements, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala elevated them beyond ethnocentrism, beyond tribalism. Allah Ta'ala elevated them beyond these differences and grievances and brought them together as one community by His grace, by His favor, and made them brothers. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, again, this is how God makes His revelations clear to you so that you may be rightly guided. When we look around at our ummah and the plight of this ummah, we have to remind ourselves, despite the constraints and the limitations of this nation-state system that was imposed on the Muslim ummah, the ummah is still alive. The heart of the ummah is still beating, and we absolutely have a responsibility to see each other as brothers and sisters, holding firmly to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah ta'ala grant us that unity in our lifetimes. Thank you, and make sure that you follow our dhikr session coming soon. Assalamu alaikum.